you have a statement, feel free
Just
to make it.
whatever way you want to do
Yes,
it. But, getting close to halfway point with the numbers of practices, and I feel like in some aspects, we probably are really pleasantly surprised on the way they picked up a few things, new things that they'd not done before, or things we're calling a little differently, et cetera. On the other hand, I think we're a long, long way, especially when we're doing the fast tempo operations, a long way from cleaning up enough missed assignments and other things that are hurting us. A lot of the conditioning element. I know we're physically in condition, but mentally right now, we're not staying focused through that, and causing a little breakdown in assignments or breakdown in fundamentals, and either one of those will get you in trouble. The most pleasing thing, I think, overall is attitude. The most disappointing thing right now, and this is just two practices, I think, with live tackling, but the most disappointing and concerning thing right now is just our tackling. So that tomorrow will be a huge thing. It's not going to be as much about X's and O's tomorrow. We want to give them enough X's and O's to strain them a little bit and see who can learn and function under pressure, but it's really more about fundamentals and seeing if we're going to improve in tackling.
Ellis, tackling's been an issue here 2 or 3 years, really. Is there something you see that's causing it, and how hard is it to fix it?
Well, I think I don't know what caused it, but I think the thing I think you have to do as a coach is you can't take too much for granted, even on our level. You recruit some of the best players in the country to come to a school like Auburn, and you can't take for granted that they all know how to tackle exactly right and don't need work on it. So what we've tried to do is put a tremendous emphasis on tackling every day in our drills. And then obviously when we're allowed to tackle live, hopefully we'll improve in that area. So that's the biggest thing. Work on it, teach it the right way, and the more time you put in it, you're also sending a message to them that it's important. So, tackling sometimes is just want to, but then when they have the want to and it's still not good, then you got to get the fundamentals improved, and you got to make sure you're doing things the right way. Actually, some of the angle tackles in open field have not been that bad. There are individuals who are bad, but as a team, some of that's pretty good. The tackling I'm talking about is the physical elements, where we got those times to really fit up on a guy and make a good physical tackle, and I haven't seen a lot of them on the field. So that, whether it's want to, or know-how, or just an attitude, or whatever it is, we got to keep harping on it, and keep a finger on it and demand it.
Is that surprising to see with so many veteran guys that you have on defense, guys that have played some football?
If you look now, a lot of veterans up front. I don't have a lot of veterans in my group. Now, I've got some guys who got in some games last year, but other than Jake Holland, I don't have a very experienced group at linebacker at all. And if you'll include the star position, we moved Justin Garrett out there. He is without a doubt the most, what I'm talking about now is tackling issue. He's the best we got. He hasn't played much ball, so not in games around. So it isn't always game experience and those type of things when it comes down to something as simple as physical tackling. But we'll see. By the end of spring practice, I'll know whether it's want to or know how to.
What makes Justin so good right now at tackling?
Well, he's got great closing speed. And that's huge when you make the open field space tackles. And he's got good what we call contact speed. In other words, when he's about to make contact, he has that explosiveness where he runs through it and doesn't gather and settle. He runs through things. And he's got that great contact speed. And so he's one of the ones that's in a bright spot. And we've used him as an example and pointed out to other players. And hopefully it'll be infectious and other guys start picking up on it. But that's the biggest thing I see. He's got an attitude. He's got great athleticism. He's got that closing speed with good angles. And he's going to make contact, and he likes contact.
What do you think of the reaction speed of the defensive linemen there in those spots?
I think it's been okay. I haven't really seen anything that just doesn't look like it belongs on an SEC football field, but I really haven't seen a lot of impact plays. I haven't seen a lot of just dominant physical one-on-one plays, and that's something you want to see. You got to have those 3 or 4 guys on each side of the ball that can make those kind of plays. Stuff you can't coach. You can keep drawing up all these plays and defenses and everything, but players at some point in time have got to make an impact play, and that's what I really haven't seen yet on the field.
Do you see guys that you think have the ability to make those plays?
Yeah, if you just start with the measurables, the off-season, the quickness, the speed, the times, on the watch, what they're lifting in the weight room, you look at them on on, what we call on the hoof. When you translate it on the football field, I think we've got some players that are capable of doing it, but until we see it, it is what it is.
Last year, this defense had some flashes of greatness. Example, the LSU game. What do you think is the X factor for this defense this year?
I'm not sure, and I agree with you 100% on that, because as we watched game tape from last year, their defense played very solid in many games. I didn't see the dynamic plays in games that would give your team a turnaround, the sudden changes, the interceptions, the long gainers, setting up touchdowns, knocking balls loose and recovering fumbles. Didn't see a lot of that. Did see them play tough, saw them play, and bow up in games like LSU, and play physical and try to play tough. But the X factor is, what I'm talking about, those dynamic plays, hits on the quarterback that either put the ball on the ground or cause interceptions, hits on the ball carrier that spit the ball on the ground, interceptions, return for big yardage. We got to start finding some of those plays. And hopefully, we're doing the right things as coaches to put them in position. And then the players have got to make plays.